G'day and welcome back to my mini motorway videos. Obviously I finished the game through, but I did think that Los Angeles was a relatively easy one, even by the time I sort of got to Tokyo, just sort of 2 maps later. So I want to revisit it, just to see if it is, if everything I've sort of taken from the from having played the whole game through, if there's anything that I can now sort of learn from that, and if I can land a much bigger score, I suppose, than 2,200. So the first thing I'm going to do with that in mind is block. I don't want the houses of red to sort of sit on my line for this guy. Potentially I want, no, it's going to be all the road I've got. I don't want them to sort of be close, and then if they are, I want them to sort of have a way that I can work them around to the other side. And possibly, yeah, I was going to say possibly what I actually need to do is reconsider this by flipping this guy around to the top. So if I go up, I could actually go up and over with him. Yeah, let's keep them as is, and we'll go up and around with this guy. Now it seems to be just these sort of very first two guys that sort of really overlap with that. So the big thing that I'm trying with this one that I didn't do probably on my first attempt is segregation. Absolute segregation is what we're attempting to do. So it isn't just colors, it is hopefully warehouses. Every warehouse has its own individual set of 4 to 6 houses that's job is to take care of it. Now there's definitely going to be a few weeks in the middle there where we don't have the numbers, we don't have sort of the available motorways or bridges or whatever to sort of really cater to that. But what we're trying to do is just see if we can operate with them all separated. So again, I want to just, okay, cool, that's all right. Now build down and across for him. Now, it does generally start you with just 2 houses per guy, but what we can sort of do is in future building we can swap all 4 of these houses, say, to look after this guy, and a different cluster can take care of this guy. Sort of what we're aiming to do. So a few other changes that I made for this video. Hopefully my sound is a little better as well. I've still been trying to tweak with that to see if there are definitely people out there who are happy with the way the sound is, and then there are others that aren't. So still working on that to see if it can sort of reach a happy medium for everyone. And the other thing that I've changed in this one is the mouse. I think it would have been white before, and now it's black, so I've put on that sort of inverted color to it, and I've increased the size of it. So hopefully those that were having trouble following the cursor, that's improved too. Now we would really like a bridge in these early weeks, so I can take motorways in the later ones. Roundabouts might come in handy for if I've got, if I have to be forced to have 2 sort of warehouses operating together, or if I've got like a clunky set of houses that sort of I can just put them through a roundabout to sort of keep them a bit cleaner going to and from their warehouse. Now this guy is definitely going to cause me an immediate problem. So is he. Yeah, alright, how many things we got? 36. So let's stop and think about this for a second. What can we do to get this guy there without creating much damage? And I guess the answer at the moment is nothing. We're just going to leave him be. And we'll just let this guy operate with that 1 for now. This guy here, on the other hand, we only have the 1 bridge at the moment. So what we might do is we'll cut these 2 guys off that connection. We'll get them to cut through here and down and then across. Now it does mean that they're going to go against the flow of these 3 guys getting to their factory. But at least for this guy, they're only going across the face of one of their guys, one of the 2 houses for him. Now, in terms of getting really big scores, I have seen someone say that if you get one of these, it's almost like a death sentence for that. That obviously this is going to already have sunk ultimate segregation, because the reds and the blues are always going to have the common ground of this this warehouse. Okay, so let's take the bridge and let's get these guys connected. Now for the time being, we will have we will have these guys connected to both of these factories, just because we've only got the one hub of guys. Or I guess they've got to pass through here anyway. And I'm not going to connect this guy at the moment, I'll just let him just sit there. I think 3 should be enough for these 2 at the moment. But we definitely are sort of folding across ourselves at the moment in terms of our layouts, which isn't great. But let's see. While this is just trucking along as well, I want to say just thank you to everyone that has sort of posted kind words or subscribed or even just watched my videos. I do appreciate it all. It's definitely surged very suddenly. Certainly didn't expect it to happen, I guess, at all, let alone this fast. But there is definitely a lot of people out there watching my videos, and it's very flattering. Oh, stop with the roundabouts. Alright, let's take a roundabout again. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to use a roundabout right here for now. Now, it's not because I expect this to be a long-term solution. It is actually just because a roundabout can replace the... Alright, because obviously I just got a new thing too. Roundabout actually doesn't need, will remove those pieces of squares that are actually under it. So by putting that in, I've actually gotten back, say, 3-4 squares, which will be handy. Now again, obviously the distance this guy's having to travel is not great. He's definitely going to start to sort of slump the longer he has to do that for, because you can see there's already 2 jobs there. These guys are going to have to get back, and so they're definitely working at a deficit at the moment. They aren't going to survive that long on that one guy. But they should at least survive the week, I'd say. Worst case, we can just build a line straight up here if I'm not confident on that. Which we will wait and see, because my confidence is certainly questionable for it. Okay, now these guys are definitely setting themselves up to be a highway connection to, say, this warehouse. Cool. Alright, so let's think about this briefly. We have this community here that can take care of this guy. It saves these 2 houses having to connect to it. They can instead head down. Reducing the amount. No, it's not going to reduce the amount. These red guys are going to get in the way. This one guy, on the other hand, is really struggling with him. So I think that possibly what we're going to have to do is just give it to this one guy for the time being. Because he's not addressing that. In fact, actually, I'll change my mind with that. I'll put it there. We'll let this guy help take care of that. Which also isn't going to be great because that guy just changed to red. Now, an interesting thing I've noticed in the way that people, the sort of terms that people use for this game, I obviously call these factories, I refer to them as warehouses. The one I most commonly see in comments that people post is they call these IMAX theaters, which I do find quite funny. Yeah, so that's but yeah, I sort of seem to shift between calling them factories and warehouses, which I guess is basically the same thing. Okay, so this guy's now got his 3 connections there, and what we could really do is that means that this is no longer necessary. So what we can do is now change it up and connect these guys south. So what we can do is run these guys along here and connect there, and we'll give them 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that means that that guy's now taken care of, which means that we can get rid of that highway. We can connect these 4 guys that way, get rid of that connection and that connection. And what we'll do is we'll just give this a brief moment. Take the motorway. Oh, so we've got a new motorway now, great. So what we can do is turn these 2 guys south, get rid of all that. connect these two guys to their closest point. So we've now got 5 houses for that. We can get rid of that connection. And I'm just going to leave these 2 houses not doing anything at the moment. They're alright. And we'll get these guys to connect through here. And we will then send these guys down over there. And we should get that back soon too. So we can consider if there's anywhere else that might benefit from having a motorway. Now, I do think that these 2 guys separated is still on my game plan. But possibly it will be, if hopefully this guy gets another house right next to him. Good. Because I think that the initial answer here is just going to be perfect. Okay, so we're just going to get these guys to work over here. Now, one thing I do think I do badly is these weird little hubs. I don't think I designed these ultra efficiently in how you probably should set up a connection of houses together. If these guys get 2 more and I'm looking at a set of 5 over here, I'm going to disconnect this guy and give light blue this guy to their connection. Now, quite possibly what I can actually do now is just give him to that connection anyway. The reason being that currently the only 2 people that are using that road is going to be 1 dark blue house and 1 light blue house. And essentially both of them are now just going to be working in like an emergency capacity. So I don't think either of them are necessarily needed. Alright, so what I'm going to do is run this guy straight up the top. Again, it's not great because he's on such a sort of distance for them to have to travel. Give them 2 houses for now and we'll just keep an eye on. Oh great. That makes life a little easier. Take the bridge. Definitely. And we won't do anything with him at this point. So we've got 5 houses for him, so he's fine. We've got 5 houses for him, so he's fine. And that guy's operating with 3. He's only square at this point, so that's alright too. There's a dark blue guy, I haven't connected to anything there. There's this guy here. Now hopefully with the change of this, good, we start to get a few more light blue houses as well. We did have that guy, I didn't even notice. Alright, so he's well out of the way. But if he gets a little community, let's take that I suppose. You can already sort of see that these 2 guys aren't dealing well. They're definitely worst off of my my different colours. He's not going to handle that well either. Okay, so let's think about what we can do to support this. Now, I could build a bridge from dark blue to here to temporarily fix that problem. So I think that's what I'll do. So I'll have dark blue just sort of run through the middle of these guys, because I just need a motorway to connect, and we'll connect it to these guys down here. Cool, I gave us a motorway anyway, so let's now apologize to dark blue for the inconvenience. We will set them back up. Give them their motorway back, and then we will connect these 3 guys, give them that motorway, and connect there. In the comments and everything that I've read on my videos, there's a lot that sort of comment about how calm I stay and how sort of soothing it is. I was thinking about that and looking through some of my older videos and realized that there's some Payday 2 videos in there where I talk about strategies for doing some of the heists solo, and those strategies usually involve killing a lot of civilians, and I thought, well, I wonder if my calm voice ends up being a bit sociopathic at that point, where it's strategies just to get the win. So hopefully you, I guess, avoid those to not ruin the calmness. Okay, so I'm not gonna tinker with that green line yet, because light blue has solved themselves at the moment. They're not looking anywhere near as bad as they were. I just don't need that green line at the moment, essentially. Now I might. Okay, so we've now got this guy in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this roundabout, and I'm going to shorten this trip as much as I can. And I'm going to connect this guy through here. Now part of the reason for this is that it hopefully means that traffic going to this guy is going to flow this way, and we're looking at, I guess, 1, 2, 3 houses that are going to predominantly take care of this guy. And then for this guy, we've got 1, 2, 3 houses going to him, and then this guy's sort of in the middle. So hopefully what it means is that traffic to this factory is going to flow out this way, and traffic to this guy is going to flow that way. And so what it's creating is sort of the illusion of separation, even though they actually are together and covering each other. And what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of Highway 3. Painfully, we're now going to have to wait for this one guy to make that whole journey. Cool. We'll definitely take that house. And obviously what we're going to have to do is reconnect him until we get this highway back. Now this is even changing the layout that we've got again, because we've now got almost enough houses down here that we don't have to worry about hurry up, Ringo, thank you. That we don't have to worry about having these guys even connect over here. So what we'll do is we will wait a moment for this guy to sort of get cleaned up a bit, because you can see suddenly what's occurred is a surge of cars have just come to address everything going on this side, and it's because we've just reopened it. It is presently a mess, but I would expect that that should get addressed pretty quickly. I just noticed we have another green up here as well. And so what we'll do is I am going to do a quick separation there. So same sort of logic. The top guys can head to that one, the bottom guys can head to that one. Hopefully it reduces congestion. This guy's now gone IMAX, so what we I guess want to do is try and connect these guys around here. And you can see that these have calmed right down, so perfect. Now what we can do is we can get rid of this bridge, that connection, this connection, and we can let these guys now take care of, we'll swap him around and we'll sort of give him a little bit more of a direct route as well. These guys are now taking care of him. What it also means is that these guys now, these guys on the top are taking care of him, and then these 4 are taking care of him. Now the problem here is that everyone is attempting to go through the same door. Now I don't know how much it does for congestion, but what we can try to do is get rid of that, and instead we'll swing these guys this way. So we'll bring him down, cut across there, and up. I've run out of road. Let's wait for some road to come back. There we go, okay. And swing light blue in that way. Then what we can do is disconnect red from there, point red this way, and have red come down and connect there. So even though they're all going to the same spot, now they're separated. And now we've got that guy in this. I don't even want this guy attached. Great, we'll take the motorway. And we've now got another yellow house, or another couple of yellow houses in this middle mix. He's now, I guess, no longer stranded on the other side of that line. But I don't think we need him. Now this guy we probably do need, because that gives us 6 houses to cover for him, and we can see that he is sort of starting to fall out a little bit. So is this guy. So let's get this guy connected there. what I could possibly do is connect this yellow in the middle to these other ones, and then have him, and then also give these guys a line, because you can see that there's definitely guys not doing anything down here. I guess that guy up there is not doing anything either, so it could be handy to sort of address this problem, but it also does look like they might be getting a fix on it. That guy's not green, so he doesn't have to deal with that. We can get this guy to connect, so we will swing him around. That guy can't connect. Alright, this guy's starting to suffer. So what we'll do is we will give him that connection there. And what we'll also do is we'll join those guys there. Give this guy a quick chance to sort of suddenly have a surge of guys get over there and take care of him. Because obviously those 5 guys at the top aren't doing the job. As I hope. So the problem is that when you do open up a new sort of line of cars to availability, it will sort of mean that they do suddenly surge, like what we're seeing there, and cause you a little bit more congestion before, so it gets a little bit worse before it gets any better. So hopefully they can sort of fix themselves up. Okay, this yellow guy down here. Now this guy here is still looking bad, so let's give him another house. That gives him 6 houses, which is quite nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this guy over here. He's looking pretty good. This guy has 5 houses. He doesn't need them. Now this guy here, we can sort of cut across this freeway once, sorry, this road, once we no longer need these guys connecting, if that is ever going to be a case that we can survive with. But otherwise we need to work out how to get guys over here, and potentially without interrupting red too much. Now we've got 2 more motorways at the moment, so what we can do is get rid of that and just tell red to just jump the line and just hop over that to address it. And what we'll do is we will connect this guy here. Same theory again, he's now at the back of these houses, not at the front, so these guys go out that way. They go to him out the other end. You can see the awful congestion that we've created here, but hopefully they do sort of address it with the amount of cars coming in. Once they start to move a bit smoother, it does definitely clean up quicker. Cool, good job guys. Alright, we'll give him to yellow too. Now what that means is we've got 7 houses attached to him. They are travelling a distance though, so we do want to make sure that they are looked after. Now we do have 1 more motorway I believe too, so we can try and see if there's anyone that will benefit from a motorway, be it this guy here and the distance that his guys are travelling, or we'll take another motorway. Okay, so I think we will give it to this guy, our next one. And what we'll do is we will connect it here. Or is that too... What are you doing there, you little blue? Get out of the way. Alright, what we'll do actually is we'll get rid of that. Now what we want is at least 6 guys on him. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these guys are going to have to get around that blue and connect to him. So then we can give them Highway 5 and start up again. Now we do really want... Okay, so dark blue is now having issues as well. But, I mean, it looks like they're moving pretty fluidly there. We now need this guy, so hopefully this suddenly gives us another jolt of more houses. I do have a bridge, so I can do a weird little journey to that one guy and get him to be caretaker of that while we figure out what we want to do. Okay, so these guys here are going to have some trouble getting through, even though that's quite close. So these guys will be the beneficiary, I guess, of that. Although this guy's going to need it too. Now I can see that these guys haven't left their houses, so we can get rid of that and then just build, or we'll wait for him to finish using it. We'll bring these guys around so he can still make that connection. Cool, we got the bridge back, and we will just... So again, it's the guys at the back that are sort of sharing the load. Guys closer can sort of address that. Alright, dark blue is sort of a bit more in control. And we'll get Highway 6 connecting there. That's a nice short little one there, so hopefully they can really handle that. It's a nice little addition for this guy, I suppose. Nothing we can do with that guy there, but we'll swing this fella around. Now this guy here is definitely starting to feel the pinch as well. And I guess that what I'll have to do with him is swing... Is that red guy there connected? Yeah. This red guy's going to have to swing across there too. That guy can't gain. I have seen in some of my videos that some people have yelled, or not yelled, but commented on how I've clearly missed some obvious things. So I'll just pause for a second to make sure that I'm not missing any glaringly obvious houses that would make life easier. As it stands, I can't. That is probably the third piece of feedback that I've had. Audio, mouse cursor, and why did you do that? Why didn't you overlook that? And I guess the only thing I can say for that number 3 one is that I am a flawed human being. I will make mistakes. And often. And I hope that part of my videos is sort of to say, you don't have to be perfect to get this right. You can, there is a room for error that you can sort of make this work, even if you do miss things, make mistakes, it doesn't work. It doesn't look as perfect as you feel it should. These red guys here, it's an argument to have them sort of make some sort of connection to go down here, I suppose. Cool. Motorway. It is only 2 houses, so the question then is there anywhere else I'm better off moving more guys from? 3 houses now. So these 3 houses here are also not being used by him. Well, you've just sold me with your 4th house. Okay, so there we go. 4 houses. Motorway from here. They can join up here. We can see if we can try and clean that up. Now the other ones looking ordinary at the moment are these light blues. We could connect these light blues to there as well, but again, that's problematic. These guys are working overtime as it is. So we definitely don't want to sort of make these guys have to choose between these ones and those ones. These guys need sort of, I guess, help as well. So so there's an argument to get, I guess, guys connected either way here. Alright, we'll just do a sweep of light blue to make sure that everyone is connected to somewhere where they can help. Alright, we've got a motorway. So what motorway help do we want to address here? Yellow is sort of falling apart a little bit down here. Let's pause for a second. Red does have this line, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to there rather. First order of business. Move that. No one was actually even using that. I've only just noticed that no one's even making that connection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift red up there. Then what I can do is get rid of that. Oop, I want to keep you where you are. And I will have these 2 guys. Oh, they're going to have to... Oh, they can use a bridge. Join the conversation. Just to give 2 extra houses who are close a little bit of support on this thing. That is a bit of a waste of a bridge, but it's alright. Yeah, everyone's looking quite good at the moment. This red, I'm really happy with how this red's doing. And this red and these guys don't seem to be bothering each other with their cross, and same goes for this this guy here. He doesn't seem to be moving too much, and neither do the guys below him. Now, take another motorway. Definitely motorways are the name of the game once you reach a certain point. It does feel like the speed just picked up on us again. What do we got? Yellow, not happy. A lot of guys not happy. Green is probably the one that I'm lucky that I haven't had anyone go to a circle. They seem to be these two up here rather. I feel like they're the ones that are really at risk. And I'm quite happy with how red seems to be moving through this, even though they have gone to that. This is a little bit jolted up here. Possibly I could build a roundabout down here somewhere. I mean, that would sort of, I mean, that'd all be a sort of community connected up there that then has to join to a single point and then hit a roundabout. Sort of the roundabout would have to be more in the community. What I could do, okay, let's try this, is I can disconnect this. What's the most guys I can disconnect? 3. Let's disconnect those guys, and we'll connect these guys that way. Because I'm currently sitting on 2 motorways, we'll connect those 3 houses to a motorway and put them on blue's side. Now, blue isn't as big a deal here because they're only a square, and certainly in this late game, those squares are a much bigger, or a lot less of a concern than the circles. Now, I'm pretty sure this game does max you out at 9 motorways, so that is our last motorway we've got sitting on there. I mean, it feels like it's this guy that needs it, but he also is sort of connected to a highway, and so if he was the problem, the way to address it should be to sort of try and fix whatever's going on up here. The other thing I will do, because I realize I haven't fixed this, is that these 4 houses no longer have to work around this yellow. The yellow has been on a motorway for the longest time, that they can actually have a much more direct route to that guy that I'm not even sure they're helping with, but either way. Alright, this yellow guy over here, you can join the fun on that side. This red guy's starting to look in trouble. Thing we can address as well is that guy doesn't have to take as long a route, neither does this guy. Red is certainly starting to look a bit more troublesome at this stage. I guess everyone's starting to look a little troublesome now. It's just, I guess, as the game goes on, it gets, they go faster and faster. And this is where there's obviously just flaws in the distance that people are having to travel, or so let's think. This guy looks worst, I think, at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to burn this briefly. We'll just chuck them, these 2 houses. Tiny little lifeline to get down there. You can see that with these red guys, these guys are now starting to really make a mess of that intersection, which is where this becomes a problem. That it's just not necessarily the amount of cars you've got accessing a point, it's the congestion getting to that point. I mean, everyone's sort of starting to, I think at this point it's just a question of how long we can last, whether than if we can make it, I guess, too much further. Yeah, you can see how much congestion is caused here, and in part it's just because we've got yeah, that guy there is about to blow. There's no way I can get that guy connected, is there? use that old style that he can just sort of interrupt that, but too little too late. There we go. Yes, so I think that from sort of the ways that I have played, as just the first time I've revisited that one, certainly I think that that segregation strategy and motorways to sort of really help that segregation is the way to approach it. Yeah, it was fun to come back and do that one. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, see you later.